So hey y'all, uh, my name is Kels, aka Killa, aka Princess P when I'm in my bag. No, but my name is Kels or Killa. I have been, and I'm gonna show my face because just for a little while. I have been trading, or no, let me just go back. I have been in the stock market since 2020, of course, when a lot of us joined, when the pandemic hit and prices were, too good to pass up. I started off buying stocks, did not know what stocks to buy, but I was buying airlines. And somehow I came across Wall Street Trapper and I joined his group when it was on Facebook. And I bought his course and it taught me fundamentals. From that group, I joined a smaller, like a study group, and we called ourselves TBD Gen Wealth. So shout out to my folks. And it was basically like a study group. Like I said, we would break down stocks and bounce ideas off each other. From there, I found the Come Up series, and that's where I was introduced to options. As you know, or as you may know, the Come Up series teaches, or they advocate whatever, long-term leap options. So September, end of September, early October is when I purchased my first leap option. Shout out to TSM. And by December, I was calling myself in my head a swing trader. And I did not know technicals. I did not know nothing about nothing. So yeah, January 2021, y'all may have experienced what I experienced. It was a crazy time. And one of I'm gonna call him a trading partner. One of my trading partners was like, y'all need to learn technicals because y'all out here doing anything. So he taught us technicals, basically just using support and resistance and price action. And from January to September, I was losing money because, again, I still didn't know what I was doing. And year to date, I probably lost more money than I've made. So that's just me keeping it real. In November, so that's my trading journey. And here I am. Like, I'm just a regular person and that's it. That's all. I do work a 9 to 5. I'm back in the office 2 days a week. So I can't trade how I want to. But here I am. So that's my trading journey. That's who I am. Let's get into the discovery of premiums. Told y'all this is gonna be fast. I'm not BSing. So in November of 2021 is when I first noticed premiums. And I was either, I don't know which one was first, if it was Square or if it was a Disney play. And again, if you search my Twitter profile, you can search Disney or DIS or Square SQ, and all of this is gonna come up. Like, I've documented all of this. I don't remember the Square, exactly what happened with Square, but with Disney, I was playing earnings. And if you know, or if you have heard people say that the premiums are inflated when you play earnings, so be careful. So I was like, okay, let's get in a week early and my premiums going to inflate. I don't know how I was going to inflate, but we're going to see. So I had got into Disney a week before and it was running up, and then I think it fell, but my premium was holding. Like, it held its value. And I was like, that's really weird. Like, that's really weird. And then it rebounded and I was like, I'm out. Like, I had a good percentage. Like, I was in profit, and I was like, I'm not going to even risk playing earnings. And earnings wasn't until, again, the following week. So the day after I sold, I sold on, again, I remember this clearly. I sold on Thursday. That next day, Friday, it gapped up. And I was like, what? And then on Monday, it gapped up again. And earnings, they didn't have earnings yet. And I'm just like, oh, wow, like, my luck, right? So that was the first time, or maybe the second time. Again, it happened with Square too, but I don't remember the Square story. The third time it happened, or that I recall, was an IWM play. And I had threw this play out into a Telegram group I'm in that has a whole bunch of TBD Gen Wealth folks. And again, very searchable. Ain't no rap in my cap, or ain't no cap in my rap. Look, I'm getting nervous. But I had threw out an IWM play for December, and it was November. And IWM, I think it went up and then it came down. And when it came down, I was in a negative on my premium. IWM started recovering, but my premium started recovering better. So I was like, I told them, I said, this has happened to me before. I think we were all still negative though. But I told them, like, this happened to me before. Hold on to your contracts. This is a good sign. Sure enough, it ran up. I got scared. I pulled out, I took my profits and got on. But it did end up running up. So that was the third time that this has happened, or this had happened. And that, again, that was the end of 2021. Then 2022 happened, January happened. And I was like, I really want to take day trading, scalping, whatever I want to be called, more seriously. So what I was doing was not working. Like I said, I probably lost more money than I made. And that's just the honest to God truth. And I said, let me figure out something else. So I started trading SPY and SPY only. I said, I'm gonna fund my account one more time. That's it. That's all. If I can't get it right, then this ain't for me. So I started only trading SPY. And I really don't know, even though I remember what happened with Disney vividly, I really don't know how I came to form the technique that I use today. And that's how we're gonna get into it. So I know there are folks, there's this one guy on Twitter called Sam the Trader. He'll be, sometimes his plays hit and sometimes they don't. But he has always said there's a premiums tell a story. And now I see they really do. So I'm bringing y'all two charts. Unlike Sam, Sam says he doesn't use charts. I use charts when I look at premiums. So right now y'all are looking at 5-minute charts. This is from yesterday or 6. Yeah, yesterday.
We can't see your screen.
Yeah, your screen, boo. We can't see it.
Okay. Hey, did y'all see my PowerPoint?
It's still stuck on agenda, babe.
Okay, cool. I'm about to say. So. All right, so this is the 5-minute chart for SPY. Just for informational purposes, I trade with 4 charts: the 2-minute, the 5-minute, the 15, and then sometimes it'd be the hour, sometimes it'd be 4 hours. But I chart with at least the 2, the 5, and the 15 up at all times when I'm at home. So on yesterday, I was in the office and I should not have been trading, but I was. And I noticed that at 8:50 and 10:35, I noticed that SPY was at or around the same price. And I've circled these little candles. Again, it's a 5-minute chart. I'm on the West Coast. So the 8:50 and the 10:35 chart, the 10:35 candles, SPY was at the same price. In your head, you would think that the premium will be at the same price each time. Here is the, SPY, the price this was at 446 or 446. I like to look at the premiums like at least or at most $2 out the money on each side. So whether it's a call or a put, I look at both of them. That goes back to something else. So I chart with the 2, the 5, the 15, and the 1 hour or the 4 hour, or I watch it. And then on my other screen, I have 2 premiums up, a call and a put. So I had the 445 premium up, and I noticed that at 850 and 1035, the premium was not at the same price. It was a little, later in the day, it was a little lower. So the high that this got up to was 614, and then the high that this got up is the 603. But if you look at the SPY chart, it was higher higher later in the day. So let's just summarize. SPY was at the same price later in the day. The premium was lower during that same time, those same 2 times. To me, that means SPY is going to fall. Premiums will not tell you when to get in.
You don't want to check this out?
Premiums will not.
Okay, your story showing Grenada. Did I tell you?
All right,
Hey,
dog, you
Steve,
got
mute
me.
yourself.
Okay. Premiums will not tell you when to get in. Let me make that very, 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 very clear, because I've learned and I got burned. Again, they will not tell you when to get in. They will tell you the direction. So I think I waited before I got in. I may have got in on this candle, and I wrote it down. And if I go back to my Twitter, I think I mentioned that. I think somebody asked me something, and I was like, check the 850 and the 1035 candles. Yeah, the 850 and the 1035 candles. So if you're in here, that's what I seen. So anytime, so what I do, and I usually, I'm gonna keep it real with you, I usually wait to power hour to even do a trade like this. But I was feeling risky yesterday, so I played it. Again, SPY was at the same price at 2 different times of the day. The premium, this is for calls. The premiums on the calls, they lost their value. So to me, that's a signal that SPY is going to fall. Does that tell me when it's going to fall? I rely on my technicals for that. I just know that eventually it will fall. So that was yesterday. Like I said, the real method, how I really should be playing this, or how I've had the most success, is playing it during power hour to predict the next day. So what I look for during power hour, and we can go to today, is SPY channeling during power hour, because I need it to be at a similar price. And I don't like it for it to be fluctuating. Like, I don't like for it to be SPY at 450 and then it's at 444 and then it's at 458. I don't like that. I like for it to be in a tight range channeling, so I could really compare premiums. So where were we at? We were at 450. So let's look at the 452. Call. And then the 448. And basically, I just look to see, where is there a divergence in between the premiums and the price. Oh, that's one. And I already did this earlier. I'm gonna tell y'all that I didn't see one. I didn't see one on the call side. I didn't see one on the put side. So when I don't see a divergence or something that's telling me that it's going to give me a direction, I don't use this method, which brings me to this. I cannot read premiums all the time. I don't read premiums when it's not channeling, or when, like, let's say SPY came down. How how I want to say this. I don't use it when it's in a go back to the farm, when it hasn't been channeling or when there's been a lot of activity. So let's go back to yesterday. I didn't use it yesterday because this was a lot of activity. So I could have looked at this candle and seen and looked at premiums and try to predict something, but we moved way too much for me. Like we went from 443 to 448. That's a little bit too much for me. So I didn't predict anything for today. I'm not predicting anything for tomorrow because sometimes it's just too close to call. Let's see. So this 1210 candle and this 1240 candle, we can look at that on a premium. 1210. Oops. 1210. And what I say? 1240. It's about the same. It's about the same level. The 1210 and the 1240. There are no divergence on the call side. On the put side, I like to look at for the call side. I like to look at the green candles, right? For the put side, I like to look at the red candles. So 1215 and 1245. 1215. This candle and this candle. Too close, way too close for me to call. Like there's no divergence on either side. So I'm not predicting anything for tomorrow. Like I'm just gonna rely on my my price action. And like y'all, that's all I do. Like again, the most success has been me looking at power hour if SPY has been channeling, or if SPY has been in a tight range throughout the day. I'll go back and I'll look at probably the 8 o'clock candle, the 9:30 candle, the 10. I'll just look at it throughout the day, assuming SPY was at the same or a close price that entire time, or came back to that price the entire time throughout the day. Again, for the put side, I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm looking at where SPY was, multiple places where SPY was throughout the day, and looking at the premium side, I mean the put side, and that's legit it. And I can tell y'all, like I've had this work. Now I've had this work almost 100% of the time when I'm doing it the way I'm supposed to be doing it. When I BS and I'll start looking, oh, it's 7 o'clock right now, and not it's not 7, but let's say it's 8 o'clock when I start looking at premiums, and I'm using what happened earlier. Like the market is still fresh. It's only been open for an hour and a half. So when I do things like that, like that's a very high risk trade. I have a whole bunch of success waiting for the day to develop and predicting the next day. And again, it has worked. I don't want to sit up here and tell y'all 100% of the time, because y'all ain't gonna believe it, but I kid y'all not, like it's worked. Some of the lessons that I've learned is one of these days SPY ran up. Let me see something during power hour. And I was like, I'm getting inputs because I seen what I seen. I think it was here. What was this? Monday? The 4th. What was the 4th? Friday? Oh, it was the 4th. 4th was Monday. Let me see. Yeah, I think I played puts.
She's watching the baby. What do you want?
Jerry, can you mute yourself? Matter of fact. Thank you. where was I? I was saying, oh, SPY was channeling on Monday during power hour, and I seen a divergence in the call side. And I said, I'm about to get into a put. And then it ran up the last 15 minutes. Now I was like, oh fuck. Oh, excuse my language. I was like, oh dang, like I'm already down. But I'm like, I know what I know, and based off experience. And it may gap up. And that's where I went wrong. I think I talked about this on Twitter too. I went wrong by not I went wrong by not getting in the call, because it didn't gap up, but it ran up before it came down. So I held my put because again, I saw some divergence, and I think someone said, can I explain? What I seen was that SPY, I'll use one of these green candles. And I seen that SPY was at two different, they were at the same price at two different times. So I'm probably used the 1150 and the 1235 candles. And I looked at the premiums on the call side. This was Monday. So I looked at this Friday's premiums, and there must have been the premium must have failed or dropped for me to get into puts, because that's the only time I'll get into puts. So again, I may have looked at the 1150 candle and the 1235 candle because they were at the same price. And the premium at the 1235 5-minute candle on the premium, it was significantly less than the 1150. So that's the divergence that I'm referring to. I don't even know if I'm using the right word, girl. I don't even know what I'll be talking about half the time or using the right terms. But I seen a divergence, and I was like, where I'm going to get into puts, and I got into a put. I actually got into 4 puts. I'm not going to even lie. I got into I got in 2 453s for Friday, and then a 451 and a 454 for Wednesday. And by close, I was down. I was down on those puts clearly because it ran up. And then on Tuesday, it ran up. Hold on, make sure I'm on the right days. Oh, that's all the way. Okay, this is Monday. So this is Monday. I got in, it ran up, it came down. I didn't jump out because what I've noticed is that I expect at least a $3 move, right? So if I'm getting into puts, I'm expecting SPY to fall down at least $3. And why? It's just something that I observed happen. I mean, that's just it. So when it came down to here, and I remember I was commuting to work and I was on a train and I was nervous because I was like, oh my gosh. It came down here and I'm like, no, I'm not getting out. Like, that's not $3, period. Like, no. Then it did this. And at this point, I was like, I'm just gonna close this phone and enjoy my commute because this is not going the way I need it to be. This is gonna be the time where it doesn't work, but we gonna see. Next thing you know, I check my phone and boom, we got this 5-minute candle. Again, I'm on my phone at this point. I know I have a level at 453. So I get out. I don't go by my rules of expecting a $3 drop. I get out. And we see what happened. We see the money I left on the table. So let's see, I got in at 456. And again, I got in at 456, around 456. It did drop $3. And then not only that, it had dropped $2 by the time I got out. Not only that, I was coming up against one of my major supports. So I took my money and left. And it continued to fall. if y'all want to see that premium, let's try to figure out which premiums I was watching.
Question for you, Kels. For those who are playing like SPY or trying to get into SPY, what would you suggest they do starting out as far as should they try 0 days because it's cheaper, or should they try to go a week out or a couple of days out?
Because I was, y'all don't laugh, I was trading in my Chase brokerage account. And Chase only allows me to trade Friday expirations. So that's why I only look at Friday expirations when I'm looking at premiums, and why I was only trading Friday expirations. I don't recommend 0 day. I don't recommend Mondays or Wednesday weeklies, because what can happen is that it can go the opposite direction first before it come down. And again, it doesn't tell me, SPY doesn't tell me where, or the premiums don't tell me when it's going to reverse. I rely on my technicals. I don't even know why this, it rejected the pre-market high. So, if this was a zero day, if this was a Monday expiration, is it Monday expirations? Do they have Monday expirations? Yeah. If this is a Monday expiration, or if this happened on Tuesday and this was a Wednesday, I don't know what your premium would have been like when they finally fell, because that theta is killing you. So I don't recommend 0 DTA. Zero DTE. I just recently started doing weeklies, Mondays and Wednesdays expiration, and I'm trading out of my Robinhood account. So I'm still being hella ghetto.
You mean like next Monday or next Wednesday? So if it's a Monday, say today's Monday, next Monday or next Wednesday expiration?
I would use Fridays.
Fridays. Okay, if we're on a Monday. Okay.
And with that being said, so when I'm looking at premiums, if I'm looking at them on Monday and Tuesday, I'll look at that Friday's expiration. If I'm looking at Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, if I'm trading on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm looking at the following week's Friday's expiration. Why? Because that theta will kick in, and I don't want that to, whatever the word I'm trying to think of, take away from what I'm looking at, because it could be theta, right? That's causing these premiums to lose value. So Monday and Tuesday, when I'm trading, I look at the current week's Friday expiration. If I'm trading Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, I'm looking at the following week's, following Friday's expiration. I haven't played with looking at if today's Wednesday, I haven't played with looking at next Wednesday. Because I just started trading out this Robinhood account and playing mid-weeklies or Mondays and Wednesday weeklies, like just started last week. So I haven't experimented looking at any other premiums besides Fridays, either the current Friday or the following Friday.
I got a question. I know you mentioned earlier, you said that you're looking for the actual chart, like the SPY, to trade in a range. I guess if it's going to be going like for example, what you have right here, if it's going from the bottom left to the top right, how do you identify your points? I guess that's the part I'm kind of stuck on still. But like the 2 points to compare.
I'll just look at to see where, I'll look to see where SPY is at the same price. So, and again, I like doing it most for power hour. I like this method for swinging, and it is so risky because, like you see on Monday, we didn't gap up, but we did run up. So I could wait for confirmation before, but that defeats the purpose of how risky I am. Like, no.
So do you only do that for SPY, or do you do it for other stocks as well?
I only trade SPY, but okay. I don't know if you were here earlier. I started noticing premiums when I was in a trade for Disney, Square, and IWM. So I would assume it works for all of them, but I don't know. I don't know how well it works. I only do it for SPY. Yeah, and then again, it was channeling on, and I know this probably hell is small for y'all. It was channeling during the power hour on Monday, and I just picked two points where SPY was at about the same price. So it could be like an equal comparison. And I'm gonna try to show y'all a premium chart so y'all can see what that looks like this Monday. And this was 456, that's the 54.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you use your EMS, your EMAs to when you do your daily trades? To
They're
get
on
it
my
used
chart.
or
They're on my
after?
chart. Yeah, no, they're on my chart. At this point, they're there for decorations. Like I'll make a note like, oh, this 5 minute or the 9 EMA is staying below or is holding down the candles or SPY, but I don't really use them like, oh, this is a time, like it's crossing over, let me get in. Most of the time, I don't even know what these EMAs are. Like I'll be like, oh crap, what color? Like what's the blue one again? So I have to come up here and be like, oh, okay, or I gotta click on it and be like, oh, this is the 50. And I think I got another one on here somewhere. That should be oh, it's not on here. But I think I got the 9, the 50, and the 200. So I don't really use them to get in or to get out. I make a note of it, like, oh, okay, this is what happened. This is what's happening. But I really trade on when I'm not watching premiums. I really trade on support and resistance and value, and that's it. I got this stuff on here because shout out to Chris, my ES trader, because she suggested it, and I use it just for the candles. I don't really use none of this. I don't even know what this means. Like I don't know what this means.
And for the person who had just asked that, always just try rule of thumb, try to find where liquidity is. Liquidity is always going to rest above old highs, lows, equal lows. So that can kind of help gauge instead of using the lines, because we kind of get lost in these lines. Like Kels just said, she don't even really pay attention. It's just up there for decorations. But if you have so many lines on your chart, you're not even going to know where to get in or get out. So kind of get used to just paying attention to volume and price action, because at the end of the day, that's all you need.
But you know what? But I also know that Ebony trades off of, she likes to use her EMAs. So some things work for certain people, and you have to figure out what that is for you.
I use the 9 and 21. If it is under those two lines, I usually go puts. When the prices, the underlying prices is above 9 and 21, I go calls long. They help a lot. So I just wanted to share that.
Well, thank you.
Quick question, because I joined late. Is it possible that you'll be able to send out a copy of this recording as well?
Yeah, it'll be there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just want to say thank you so much for doing this, but make sure you put out a disclaimer too, okay?
Oh yeah, y'all, I am not no financial advisor. The only thing that I'm gonna advise y'all to do is to drop some money in this cash app that's gonna come into this but now I'm just showing y'all my observations. I'm not saying this is gonna work 100% of the time. Has it worked 100% of the time for me? It damn near. But I practiced this, and I don't want to say I know what I'm doing, but I kind of know what I'm doing. So again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just showing y'all what has worked for me. It may not work for you. This may be too risky for you. A lot can happen overnight if you hold in anything. And I'll tell you a story about that in a minute. But so this was Mondays. So this was channeling. SPY was channeling, and I think I found what I seen. So I want to look at the 1150 candle, and I am on the West Coast. If you want to look this up on your own chart. But I looked at the 1150 candle, and I probably looked at the 1235 candle on the SPY. 5-minute candles. I only look at 5-minute candles when I'm watching premiums. Yes, I do trade on the 2, the 5, and the 15, but I only look at the 5 minute when I'm trading premiums. Same for the premiums. When I'm looking at their charts, I'm only looking at the 5 minute. Why? Because if you come down to the 2 minute, you get all this. So I look at the 5 minute. So on this side, I was looking at the call side during power hour, and at 11:50, and I compared it to the 12:35. You see, they were at the same price, the 11:50 and the 12:35. 11:50 and the 12:35, about the same price. But that premium, the premium wasn't. Like, this was the 11:50 premium, this was the 12:35 premium. I got in when I seen that. And I clearly I got into a put, right? Just to reverse it, the premium fell. Although SPY was at the same price, damn near at the same price here at 11:50 and 12:35. Premium didn't. It wasn't. So I'm like, cool, puts for me. And again, I expect at least a $3 movement in the direction that I'm getting in. So I'm expecting a $3 drop from where I seen a divergence. So I seen it at 456. I'm like, it's got to go down to 453. And again, 453 is a level for me, and it's a hard one. So I got down here, SPY got down here, and I was out of there. I didn't even wait for it to come down to 453. Like, I got out of here at 453.88, and I was out of there. And it came down and it ran, or well, it didn't run, but my premium ran, and I was like, wow, that was dumb. So yeah, again, I think I don't think, but I came to figure this out because I was watching premiums, right? I was in positions, and I was like, well, why isn't my premium moving, or why is it moving? And when the stock is going the opposite direction or whatever the case may be, I seen something and was like, let me pay attention to it. And yes, only hold you're willing to lose 100%. There are times, or there has been times when, last week actually, and go back to my Twitter, because when I thought I got SPY wrong, because I had jumped into puts and SPY gapped up the next day. Like, it was running up. It was running up the end of the day I got into my puts, and it gapped up. And I was like, and it kept running up. And I was like, oh Lord Jesus, I should have just took the L, but I was like, nah, like, I seen what I seen, and it's gonna come down. Like, that's it, that's all. And it came down. So if you don't have the stomach to do that, then don't do it. Cut your losses where you have. Like, if you following rules, if you say once you down 25%, you're gonna take your L, take your L. Don't hold it, because I mean, don't do it. Let me show y'all. This happened on 325. I'm about to.
Excuse me, is this video going to be available afterwards?
Not immediately afterwards, but it will be available afterwards.
Okay, and a person wrote a question in the chat, but it'd be long for me to read it. Can you see that person's question? I think his name is Chris Barber.
Shut up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, Christopher, I do not have a mic. Can someone ask her if she looks? No, I don't look at open interest. I don't look at open interest. Will change premium fluctuation. So again, I don't look at open interest. I'm just looking at the premium chart. That's it. That's all. Again, if I'm trading on Monday and Tuesday, I'm looking at that week's Friday's expiration. And if I'm looking at if I'm trading on Wednesday, Thursday or Friday, I'm looking at the following weeks. I'm not looking at premiums. I only trade SPY. So there's always going to be volume and open interest in the premiums that I'm trading, that I'm looking at. So you have to keep that in mind too, I guess, if y'all try to use this on other tickers, you have to consider, what that open interest and volume is looking like. What I've noticed with the change in open interest could give you more details. Yeah, well, again, because in the open interest doesn't change until the next day. The volume does. The volume changes throughout the day, and the volume really doesn't tell me much because I don't know what's being sold and what's being bought. So my technique, I don't look at any of that when I'm doing this, when I'm watching premiums. I'm just looking at SPY and a call and a put. Okay, so 325. This was, oof. You know what, I'm gonna get rid of some of this. Oh, I should just do remove all. Okay, so this one was tough, y'all. So this was on 325, and I seen what I seen with the premiums. Let's see, what is this? Let's try to figure out what I looked at. This was at 449, and this was 324. So I was looking at, and this is on demand, so this is me looking back. So I was looking at the April 1st, or I may have been looking at the April 1st. Call for.
So you chart on Thinkorswim and trade on Robinhood? Come on now.
Listen, because I have different accounts. So my TD account is purely long-term. So I don't trade. I did that last year and I lost a lot of money that lost a lot of money trying to day trade. Money
Gotcha.
that I made on my leaps, I was day trading and I probably lost it all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Again, I'm not lying to y'all. So I was like, I'm not doing that no more. Like, I gotta have some constraints here or restraints here. So I started trading out of E-Trade. And I was trading out of my Chase. For some reason, I have more or better control in my Chase account than I do in my E-Trade account. So came January, I started trading solely out of Chase, and that was just what it was gonna be. Then I was feeling a little risky. I feel like I knew I was doing with this watching premium stuff. So I'm like, I want to trade Mondays and Wednesday weeklies. And I was like, Robinhood, I got some stocks in Robinhood. Let me go ahead and sell some and start trading out of here. And I started doing that last week, and they put me on 90-day restriction already because you're not supposed to day trade. Then I asked for forgiveness, so now they let me trade, but I can't day trade out of there, so I got to figure something out. I guess I got to go back to E-Trade. But yeah, I trade on Thinkorswim and I trade elsewhere, like Robinhood. But not for long because, again, I only got 2 more days this week that I could, or 2 more trades that I could do before they put me on 90-day restriction, and they will lock up your money because they've done it to me before. So anyways, back to 324. Let's see if I could figure out what I was looking at. So I probably was looking at this. Oops. Wow. All right, so this is on 324. You seen we had SPY come to the same price at 8:40 on this 5-minute candle, 11 o'clock, and you can use either the 1205 or the 1210. So at 840 on the premium, and I'm looking at the 450 premium that had expired on April 1st. So 323 was a Wednesday. So I was looking at the following Fridays, the 401 premium. And you see here at 840, it's very clear that this was the highest point. Like if you look back at this, this was the highest point for this premium until 1225. And at 1225, you see that. So to me, oh, and then at 1220, hold on, y'all, hold on, because this may not have been when I was looking at these time frames, because this one clearly shows you that this was gonna run up. And how do I say? Because at 1025, I'm sorry, 1010, 1210, hold on, make sure I'm looking at the right one. Okay, I was. So I'm sorry, the 840, at 840, and I must have looked at the 1215 or, yeah, the 1215. This is the 840 candle down here. $12.10. Wait, this is on? Yeah, 12.15. 12.15. Let me try to zoom this in for y'all. There we go. There we go. Oops. Is this everything? So yeah, you have the 840, and then you have the 1210. Yeah, on the SPY, that 1210, or let's go to 1215. So at 840 and 1215 SPY is at the same price, damn near at the same price. The premiums at 840 and 1215 is different. It's lower, it's less, it's losing value. To me, that means it's going to drop. And I got in, and then it ran up, and then it gapped up. And then not only that, it kept running. Like, again, premiums don't tell you, premiums do not tell you when it's gonna fall, or when that movement is gonna happen. It just tell you it's gonna happen. So where I went wrong, and I caught it out on Twitter, I said I should have, when it ran up, and I honestly think I got in right here. I think I got in at the end of the day. I just made a note and was like, I'm gonna get in right here. So I did come out with profit, but it was dumb. Because why it was dumb? Because I've learned that if SPY runs up during power hour into closing, it is a possibility that it will gap up, and it did just that. So it was dumb of me to know that and not get in the call to at least, make some money on the run up. But it did come down. And I think I may have bought at the top, bought another one at the top, and boom, I got down. Like I said, I expect a $3 fall in, what was this? 450. It dropped down to 448. So dropped down $2. But again, if you don't have the stomach to do all that, or if you don't know how to cut your L's and let it be what it's gonna be, then this is not for you. Like, I held something like I probably broke even, I don't know, but watching premiums do not tell you when it's gonna happen. Like, at what point, whether it's gonna tell you it's gonna happen the next day, but it don't tell you like when. It doesn't tell you if it's gonna gap up and then come down, but it is going to tell you. It does not, so you have to rely on your technicals to figure out, well, where can this go before it falls. And I think I relied on my technicals today when I traded. Yeah, so I knew we were gonna fall today because I was watching premiums. I think I got in somewhere over here. This is today, right? Yeah, I got in somewhere over here and I wrote it down. I only wrote down the 440 though. I didn't know we was gonna fall. I did know that we were gonna go up. I hopped in calls, so I sold down here and then I hopped in calls. Again, too soon. Camry, you showing out too soon. I knew, since I knew why we was gonna reverse back to the upside. Sis, Camry, hold on, y'all. Come here. Hey, you going? But I knew we were gonna reverse because I was watching premiums, and I was like, the calls is, or the puts is losing value. I'm about to get out and get in calls, and we did. And unfortunately, I didn't write it all the way to the top. I wrote it to 447. I wrote it to this. And again, I called this out too, like, I'm expecting us to reverse to 447. And if you also combine this with technicals, like, it's like you literally can't go wrong. Well, you can, because nothing is guaranteed. But yeah, like, yeah. The one time where I got nervous using this was that day that we had a gap down because of what they had going in Ukraine. And I got in calls on this day, on the day before. And because I was watching premiums and it told me that we were gonna move up. I think I got in down here though. And when we dropped, I was already so negative. I was just like, I'm just gonna ride it out. But when we came back up and I got positive, I was like, I'm out of here. Let me take this. It wasn't, I don't even think I got out when I broke even. Because at this point I was like, yeah, I don't know what the world going into, but I'm cool. I got out and y'all seen what happened the next day. Like, I could have held, but I didn't. So it's scary holding anything overnight these days because you just never know. But the premiums told me that we were going to move, we were going to come up, and it did. Like, that's why I say this stock market, like, it is manipulated, because there's no way premiums would have been able to, like, premiums told me what it told me, and it did. The stock market did what the premium said it was going to do. Again, it doesn't always, I'm not able to always read premiums. Today, I was not able to read them. So I don't trade that. So I don't, if it's not a very obvious difference in premiums, I don't use it. I'm not fine with that. I rely on my TA. Sometimes if SPY has only run up this day, if it has only run up or run down and there's nothing for me to compare it to, like, this is 5 minutes, like, this is 10 minutes in between. I'm not trading that. Like, I need more time in between before I start comparing it. So I didn't predict this. Well, not based off this for sure. So yeah, there are times where you can't tell by reading premiums. And when that happens, I don't trade I don't trade based on reading premiums. I would trade on TA. Then there's times where there's an obvious, it's obvious to me and I'm trading it. One thing that I will do going forward, now that I can play mid-weeklies, is I say this, but then I probably won't. When it's been running, SPY has been running in either direction. Let me see what happened. Yeah, when it's been running, I'll play a Friday, and then that morning, if based on my technicals, it could continue to fall. I'll play a Friday expiration and I'll play a Monday or Wednesday mid-weekly expiration to capture that. But as we know, those, Monday, Wednesday, 0 DT premiums move different. They move different. So it may work sometime, but that one time where SPY, it gapped up on me, like had I played a mid-weekly, I would have got chopped up. Actually, no, I did play a mid-weekly, actually. I did play a Wednesday. But had this happened later in the day, then my premium probably would have went to shit because that theta is kicking in. So I think what I might do going forward is, again, play my Friday expirations, or same week, again, Monday, Tuesday, that same Friday expiration, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that following Friday expiration, and then play, the mid-weeklies the day of, if SPY is going the opposite direction of where I needed to go. So again, what I should have did is play the Friday expiration here, and then the day of, if SPY is going in the opposite direction that I predict it to be on, to get into a mid-weekly or 0 DT, depending on what day it is, right? To capture this downside, because I know based off what I seen the day before, it's going to come down. Had I got in up here on that Wednesday weekly and wrote it down, oh yeah, it would have been money. But I took 48%, even though I got in at this level. All right, y'all, that was a lot. Are there any questions?
Kel, you
Yeah.
did a great job. Thank you. For those who are brand new to this, like someone who's just watching this, they never heard of premium watching, what tips would you give them to mentally prepare or to practice? Would you suggest they do back testing on Thinkorswim?
You can back test. You could just sit and watch. Again, I like when SPY has been channeling during the last power hour, or during power hour, and just look at power hour. If SPY has been trading a tight range, and I can't even define a tight range because I don't know. I really don't know. But I don't like a fluctuation of $10. Like, what is this? What is this, $4? This might work. Like, had SPY been doing like all of this, and then if it came down and started channeling, and then came down and started channeling again, I may have looked at this. But what has worked for me is relying more successfully than anything is relying on the last hour. And then, yeah. And again, if SPY has been trading, I think a $4 range I would consider a tight range. But I would like for it to have touched, I'm just gonna put this there, touch this line, here, and then here. It didn't, but I would have liked for it to, touch this line down here to look at premiums, because you have it at 9 o'clock, you have it at 11 o'clock, and you have it at power hour. That would have been, had this came down here, like that would have been a perfect example of how I watch it throughout the day. So just watch it, don't play it, because don't play it. Like, watch it, make your predictions, and then see what happens the next day, and keep doing that. This may not be well received. Y'all might think this is BS. Trust me, every time I play this, and it goes the opposite direction first and then comes back down, I'm nervous, because I'm like, this cannot be this accurate. Like this is gonna be, every day I say this is gonna be the day where it doesn't work. And it's proven to me that more times than not, I don't want to say not 100%, but damn near that this works. It's just all about knowing when to get in, relying on your technicals to get in. So I really don't care if y'all don't believe if it worked or not. It worked for me, and that's just what it is. And again, you can go down my page and type in premium watching, and there's plenty of times where I'm telling people to watch the premiums, or this looks interesting, and then the next day I'm telling y'all like Told y'all. I don't give alerts because I don't want no one to lose money because of me. So when I said y'all watching premiums earlier this week, when I tweeted that was my alert to y'all or to whoever to look at the premiums so y'all can make your own analysis of what y'all think is gonna happen. But my analysis already told me what was gonna happen, and it did just that. Another tip is don't play mid-weeklies. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then also, just remember to look at, be aware of what day you're trading on. Monday, Wednesday, use the same week, Friday, use the same Friday expiration. Wednesday to Friday, use the following week's expiration. When you are watching premiums. Now you could play, it could be Wednesday and you can play a Friday expiration, but you should be looking at next Friday's premiums to determine, if it's losing value.